Hello and welcome back. This is the second installment in my temptation series. I know exactly how good sin can look through a small window I like to call temptation. I'm going to give you guys 4 main points to help you with temptation. In the last episode, we looked at what temptation is. We'll quickly review it in this video right now. Google's definition of temptation is a desire to do something, especially something wrong or unwise. My first tip for you today is to acknowledge what attracts you. Maybe it's cheating on homework, or maybe it's some of the stimulation that the internet has to offer. It doesn't really matter what it is. What matters is that you figure it out. Because once you understand what evil thing you sometimes desire, you can work to fight it. The next point is for you to figure out when and where you are tempted. Right? Maybe it's in your car when you get an urge, or maybe just in your room. Perhaps it's when you are alone and your brain says, "Hey, remember that one video?" Well, once you find this out, you will be able to avoid some of these areas. Now, yeah, I know that you sometimes need to be in your room or in your car, but the thing is, there will be places that you can avoid. Tip number 3 is to avoid temptation, right? If you always get an evil desire when you're in your room for more than 10 minutes, try not to stay in your room for that long. You can also get apps that make it so that blocked from going to certain websites that you select. These can be of great help. If you make it so that you have to work for your desire, you won't want it as much. On screen, we have a great quote that says, "Free cheese is always available on mousetraps." Think about it this way. The sin you want is the cheese, but the action it takes to get the cheese requires you to endanger your life. So never take that chance. Okay, now let's look at an example from the Bible in Proverbs. This is from Proverbs 7:6 through 23. "For at the window of my house I looked out through my lattice, and I saw among the naive and discerned among the youths a young man lacking sense, passing through the streets near her corner. And he takes the way to her house, in the twilight, in the evening, in the middle of the night, and in the darkness. And behold, the woman comes to meet him, dressed as a harlot and cunning of heart. She is boisterous and rebellious. Her feet do not remain at home. She is now in the streets, now in the squares, and lurks by every corner. So she seizes him and kisses him with a brazen face. And she says to him, I was due to offer peace offerings. Today I have paid my vows. Therefore I have come out to meet you, to seek your presence earnestly. And I have found you. I have spread my couch with coverings, with covered linens of Egypt. I have sprinkled my bed with myrrh, aloes, and cinnamon. Come, let us drink our fill of love until morning. Let us delight ourselves with caresses. For my husband is not at home. He has gone on a long journey. He has taken a bag of money with him. At the full moon he will return home. With her many persuasions she entices him. With her flattering lips she seduces him. Suddenly he follows her as an ox goes to the slaughter, or as one in fetters to the discipline of a fool, until an arrow pierces through his liver, as a bird hastens to the snare, so he does not know that it will cost him his life. So what went wrong? Well, to start, he didn't avoid the woman and her seductive words. But the thing is, these verses show him to not even be trying to fight the desire, and he most likely knew what he was getting into. Once he started falling, he just kept falling until he could no longer grab onto a rope and escape the sin he was about to commit. Something I hope you remember is that you can always stop until you can't. When you're at the point at which you cannot stop, you have already sinned. Okay, so we can't always avoid temptation. So what are you going to do when you're tempted? Well, you need to learn to fight temptation. One thing you can do is to know that God is always watching no matter what you are doing. He also knows what evil you desire. Next, you need to get God in your thought process. If God is in your thought process, then when temptation comes, you can immediately refute it with the fact that Jesus died on a cross for you, and you can't just sin. Also, another thing that helps me sometimes is a 5-second rule. If you're like literally about to commit sin or something, right? You can just, as soon as you think of this rule, you literally just you have 5 seconds to just get out of where you are and just stop doing what you're doing. Another good thing is every moment of resistance to temptation this is pretty helpful sometimes because it's just like sometimes it's just why am I, you know, fighting this temptation? But the thing is, if you give in, you lose, and if you fight it more, it's another small victory. Um, so the main points of this video are to acknowledge what you're tempted to do, examine when and where you are tempted, need to keep your distance from areas or things that tempt you, and finally, need to learn to fight temptation whenever it comes. Okay, thanks for watching, and I hope you guys learned something from this video. And I hope that you or someone you know can use this information that I put together. All right, thanks for watching and please subscribe. I hope to see you guys in my next video.